All right, so the battery on my camera was running out last night, so I'm going to record um, what I talked about at the pre-departure meeting for you here, so that way you can kind of catch up if you missed some of it. Couple things we need to talk about. First, grades. I have posted grades in Blackboard in the gradebook for all of the assignments, the exam 1, exam 2, and exam 3. Uh, those have been updated, and I have to submit grades to TWU before we leave. Like, they want grades by Tuesday for the class. But if you'll notice, the class really isn't over until February. So I went ahead and operated under the assumption that you all are going to do fantastic on the trip and do exactly what needs to be done. So I have posted grades to Pioneer Portal based on that premise. In February, if I need to, I'll go back and submit a grade change request if that's something I need to do on an individual basis. But I don't think I will. I think everything will be great for your presentations, your class participation on tour, and your portfolios. Second thing, in regard to the participation on the trip. Part of the grade was also the reciting exercise. Now, in September, when I brought that up, a lot of you kind of made a funny face at me. But hopefully now that you've done all the readings for the class, you're starting to get a better idea of what we're talking about here. This isn't necessarily meant to be an exhaustive exercise. What I just want you to do is take maybe one of the poems from Cuttlefish, take a passage, couple of sentences, maybe 3, 4, 5 sentences from Tender is the Night, or 3, 4, 5 sentences from Shadow of the Wind, and commit those sentences to memory. And then when we're on the trip, I know that pretty much all of you will have your cell phone, or you'll have a camera with video capabilities. Have somebody record you reciting those passages in the location. So if you're reciting a passage from The Shadow of the Wind about the Las Ramblas, then be in the Las Ramblas and have somebody record you. You'll need to show the recording to me either on the trip or when we get back, post it to Facebook or something like that. You can also integrate it into your portfolio as part of maybe an interactive piece of your portfolio. However you want to do it is up to you. But the idea is that we've read this text, we're seeing the location, and hopefully now it's an opportunity to bring it all together. So that's what the reciting exercise is. I haven't forgotten about it, and so you shouldn't either. So you want to make sure you commit to memory either a poem, a brief paragraph, or a passage from the other two texts. Speaking of class abroad, those of you who are in the senior level class, the study abroad class, that's for the independent study, you need to make sure you have read the travel book. We will talk about the book in the airport, and then we'll also meet a couple of times, probably at the end of the night, a couple of times on the trip to talk about your travel writing. You need to also buy a portfolio or something to keep a record of your travel experiences on the trip. So maybe you want to do a video diary every night, kind of like I'm doing here. You can do that. Maybe you want to do a blog. You want to do a Tumblr. You want to do a travel pod, kind of, they have these like little travel pod, you can do that. You're really not limited by anything other than your imagination, but you're going to have to keep a record of your experiences on the trip. So you need to start figuring out how you're going to do that, and maybe practice it a little bit. If you're planning to video, make sure you know how to video. Make sure you know how to use your camera to do that. How are you going to set it up? Where are you going to, what's the best way to make that work? Or if you're going to do a paper-bound portfolio, make sure you bring that with you. We're going to start in the airport. We'll meet a couple times on trip, and then you're going to collect all of that as part of your portfolio at the end of the semester. And then also at the end of the semester, we're going to do our presentations. Since we didn't get to do them in December, we're going to do them in January. The presentations now might be a little bit different than what you would have done in December. What I would hope that you might do is, now that you have researched France or Spain, and then we're going to go on the trip, maybe you use your pictures and your experiences to help inform your presentation so that it's a little bit more thorough, a bit more developed in a way that maybe we otherwise couldn't have done. So the presentations will be the last class period, and you're going to want to maybe integrate some of your experiences, some of your pictures into that. I can't think of anything else that I need to cover, except that I will be online pretty religiously over the holidays. So if you have any questions, if anything comes up, even if you're trying to shop for something and you don't know what you want to buy, feel free to send me a text message. I have posted my cell phone number up on Facebook and in Blackboard. Feel free to text me on my cell phone. You're more than welcome to call me if you have any questions, or ask on Facebook. You have a wealth of resources available to you. And so I hope that, for all of you, you might use the portfolio as a really fun assignment. You might use Facebook as an opportunity to connect with people, and you might use the reciting exercise as a way to kind of bring everything together. The portfolio is only limited by your imagination. So I really hope you might think creatively and outside the box. I know several students went to New Orleans as part of the honors conference, and they went to some portfolio workshops and saw how other students at other programs were doing that. And if you do a great job, this might be something, you could use to sell people on presenting at the conference next year. So this might be something that you can carry on and continue to do. I think that about covers it. So if you have any questions, feel free to post them on Facebook or send me an email. All right. Y'all have a good night or good day.